Uno, dos. Dos. Dos.
Uno, dos. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Yo, what's going on, everybody? I am George, and this is
Susie.
and welcome back to season 2 of the I Know Right
Podcast.
Yes,
It's
awesome.
been such a long time. We feel a little weird.
We do feel a little weird. I feel a little weird. If you haven't noticed, we are new year, new place, So
we're
so yeah.
changing things up. We love the gym, but we're not just about the gym.
Yeah.
But we're still in the gym. We're still here. So in case you were wondering if this is my home, it's not. I don't know what you can see behind me, but yeah, we just thought we'd switch it up, be a little bit more cozy. It's a blizzard today outside, so I got here by pure miracle. I have a blanket on, so whatever.
Yeah, and I actually even texted her. Well, I didn't text her. I asked Stephanie to text her because I forgot my phone. But
let's talk about that though. You forgot your phone where?
I forgot at my house.
Okay.
So I forgot it at my house, and I was just like, I was in a rush to get out of the apartment and to get here and everything like that. So yeah, I just got out.
It's a pretty bad snowstorm. We were supposed to get a bad one last weekend, so I think that not a lot of people believed it.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It is like really bad. I didn't even attempt to drive here because, fun fact, I'm not the best driver.
Right.
I don't have shame around that though. I don't have shame. So, what's been going on with you, George, these past few months? The last time you guys saw us, we had Dr. Lupe Garcia helping us with some tips on how to keep our immune systems healthy since we were coming into the winter time.
Yep.
And, obviously with COVID being still the talk of, our lives, and that's still taking over our lives. That's what we were talking about last time. But what's been going on with you since then?
Nothing much. Well, real quick plug. Check that episode out. It was a very, very popular episode with the fans, with the people that heard it. Because Dr. Lupe dropped some crazy knowledge.
That's our highest viewed episode.
Yeah, it's awesome. Mm-hmm. So it's super, super dope. But yeah, I mean, honestly, nothing much since October. I think I was as a business owner. People really tend to kind of like take it slower. I think that everyone kind of you start getting the holiday season rush. You start getting Thanksgiving, Christmas, all those things. It's my birthday, and I think it's like
I like that you just slipped that in there. It's my birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday. So but it's just like a lot of people take it's the weekend of the year. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So then I think a lot of people take it really slow and kind of just like cruise through it. And I was trying not to do that, even though I ended up still kind of doing it. So, but I think that's all I was trying to do during that time. I went to Mexico with the family.
During that time, he went through a little thing.
What time? What do you mean?
You went through a thing.
Of what thing? Is this our argument or is this our?
I mean, kind of. I didn't feel like we were in an argument.
No, it was an argument in here. So me and her
George was mad at me, but I didn't know George was mad at me. Communication, guys.
Yes.
George was going through, I feel like some sort of just a funk, right?
Yeah, I was going through a funk.
Yeah, he was going through a funk.
Yeah, I didn't come to the gym for a long time.
He didn't come to the gym for a long time, and he started to come back like in November. And I was like, yeah, he was all like, yeah, like it's been a while, et cetera, et cetera. And the thing about George, something that I really wish he would work on this year, and we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions later,
yes,
our personal ones, is that I wish he would stop being so self-deprecating, because he's an awesome person, and I think he knows he is, except when it comes to his performance at the gym. He puts himself down a lot. And doubts himself a lot. So he was working out, and I was like, yeah, I wanted to push George. I wanted him to be like, yes, you can do this. And he threw a fit.
I did throw a fit. And, and I did throw a fit, and I got mad. And but, when you get mad.
Were you mad at me for real?
You know what? I was mad at you. And I was mad at you. And you know what? So, but then the funny thing, I went to go do another video for somebody, and it was another coach. And she said something. I can't remember along the lines, but it kind of just clicked, and it was just like, oh, and then throughout most of my shadow work, some things that I tried to figure out about myself and traumas and things like that. I kind of just realized that when you're mad at somebody, it's a reflection on yourself.
Correct.
And you're actually mad at yourself.
Correct.
And it's just like bothering you for some reason. and I think you just awakened that, and so yeah, so
That's good. Well, like I didn't really notice it until someone else brought it to my attention, but I honestly did not. I thought everything was normal. Um, but it was like a couple of days where he was acting a little bit distant. But I was like, sometimes people need their space, etc. Um, so he did. He went through a little thing. But to talk about shadow work, it's so important to realize that, guys. Shadow work, what that means is essentially looking at your things. I guess in a really short version, it would be like your flaws. Like why are they your flaws? Kind of like why are they there? And so I have a really huge problem with my shadow of like when I get mad, because oftentimes I end up feeling bad that I made anyone feel bad. And then that's my shadow, like the people pleasing, like I need to make everyone happy. I need to make everyone like me, like the Susie show, And so that tends to be tough for me. So once I did realize George I think that was the hardest thing for me, George, to not come at you and just overall smother you with apologies, was because I realized that this was your thing.
Yeah.
And that you had to go through it. And at the end of the day, we came out fine. But normal me, my shadow would have been like, George, I am so sorry. Like how can we do to repair this? That would have been me. Like, that's what I do.
And I think that would have been super harmful to what I was going through, because that would have just not made me at fault. You know what I mean? That would have been like, okay, so I was right. She was.
This is the first time we're talking about this,
yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, this was the first time. So yeah.
This was in November.
Yeah. So like, and I think if you would have said something like that, then I would have been like, oh, so it's not my fault. So it is. You would have how's that word? You would have okayed my feelings or
correct.
Like
Validated your feelings.
Yeah, you validated my feelings and been like, so she did do something wrong, but it wasn't. It was the way I took it wrong. And but yeah, so I needed that. I came back, I think,
with the best attitude ever.
I came back better.
So much better.
Yeah, and I came back with that stuff and with. Yeah, so we'll get into the goals,
yes.
Later on.
But I'm glad we just talked about that.
Yeah,
that's so great.
Good. We haven't that has not been.
No, we haven't talked about it because I didn't know how to approach it.
She approached it on the podcast.
We got over it. Well, you brought it up. So, yes, he went through that, and then he came back better than ever, and that was where he's been at.
Yeah.
And he went to Mexico for 2 weeks. He went to our motherland.
Yes.
Right? It all comes back full circle to like our first episode.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah, he went to where our mothers are from. Our actual motherland, and he was there for 2 weeks. I would never recommend going there in January, everybody, because it is cold. Not like here, but it's desert weather, so it gets super chilly at nighttime until the sun is full out at 11 a.m.
Yeah,
so it's cold.
Very true. It's actually even still cold at 8 a.m. So by the time it's 10, 11ish, that's when it finally starts warming up.
Right.
And you could take off your little sweater and stuff like that. But
I can't. Sorry.
Yeah. So. It was funny because my mom made fun of me because she's like, you didn't believe me, because I totally forgot. We've gone in January, December before. I just don't remember it being that cold, but I took shorts and I was like, I never used not even one pair of fucking shorts. So
I remember one time I went like in November or December, and I took like cute pajamas, like short, like tank short sets. I was small. I was like in middle school, and I suffered. Like I'll never suffer like I was so freezing cold. So if you want to go to Colotlan, Jalisco, close to Zacatecas, basically in the desert, and you want to know how to dress for any season, let us know. We'll hook you up. Now for me and catching up.
Yes, tell us how.
I got same as George. So I feel that he's correct. The weekend, it is the weekend of the year when we get to the Christmas. Honestly, like. Once it was December 1st, I was done. Like, I'm like, it's Christmas. I'm not going to really do anything until Christmas is over. I do like to feel the holiday spirit. And, I go back to, like, school days when at that time your teachers are giving you basically stuff to color and you're watching movies every Friday. And that's where I was. I mean, if I could have done that here, that's what we would have been doing. But I still managed to get some work done. I still plan some stuff out and map some stuff out for the year for the gym. I realized, not just because of the George thing, but just other things that were going on in my life, that I need to refocus this year on working on other shadows that I have. And yeah, so it was still a busy time. I actually did get sick while George was gone in Mexico. I tested twice. It was not COVID. I feel like it was wrong though, because I feel like my lungs were not working.
And she did not get the stomach one. She's
And
always
I
been
did not get
wanting.
the stomach one. I know it's not a joke, but you know, I didn't get the stomach one. And the stomach one was like when you just don't eat because your stomach's hurting and stuff like that.
But you did lose a lot of weight, you said,
I
right?
did lose a lot of weight. I lost 20 pounds.
Ooh.
So now I'm in the process of gaining that stuff back and like in a healthy way. My stomach's still kind of like not used to the volume of food. But yeah, my holidays were really nice. I got to really enjoy them with my family. Um, Less family because some people were nervous about hanging out for the holidays. So it was a much smaller, you know, Castro gathering, but it was still very nice. And I'm sure I'll see the rest of my family when you know, when we're able to be outside or once everyone feels a little bit safer. But yeah, I felt that the smaller groups was more cozy. I felt like it was not as stressful. I felt calmer, and so I was able to really be in the moment and be present, and I really enjoyed them. So, still working, still trying to make this. I shouldn't say trying, but still making this gym grow. And yeah, that's where I've been.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're in 2021. 2020 is over. I feel like 2020 is going to be like one of the most important years of our lives.
Yeah, I think it's like we've talked about this before, and I feel like it's like one of those awakening things, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think we
I think
everyone's
there was
woken
like a collective awakening from a lot of people.
Yeah, I think
Collective trauma being healed, a lot of it.
Yeah.
We were all feeling something.
yeah you had nowhere to run. You've had to deal with yourself. You know, you have to deal with yourself being at home. You couldn't hide away. You could only Netflix so much, right? And before you start realizing,
And you
what's
guys know
going
I'm
on.
about that Netflix life. And there are some points where I was like, okay, I can't anymore.
Yeah. So and then like like myself, I couldn't run away and say I'm busy, and do things like
Right.
I have all these video shoots. You really had to focus and be like, what am I doing wrong or what am I doing right? Who am I? What's going on? Do I love my home? Is this the place I want to be at?
What would you say your theme was for 2020? Like, what did you learn?
Man, what did I learn? I learned I don't know. That's a difficult. What would you say yours is?
I had to learn something. And I'm still working on it actually. But I think the theme of 2020 for me was letting go.
Letting go. Okay.
I had to let people go. I mean, let's not forget, like, before COVID, I lost my good friend, my previous
Yes.
boss. Then my dad passed away, and then I had another friend pass away in September, my best friend that I've known since I was 5 years old. And along the way, and we've kind of already touched on this a little bit, there's been people that have left my life or left the gym that I really love and all that stuff. And letting that go, that's tough. Like, I have an issue with letting go. I like to stick with what was, right? I like to, instead of embracing the fact that there's change. And you just want to imagine that you're always going to have certain people in your life.
Right.
And
So she has a problem of letting go, but we just figured out an issue right now too, right before the podcast, is that she has a problem of letting in too easily too right now. So we'll touch base later on in the season on that too. But yeah, you know what? I think mine would be more of it's like it's on you. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's
you're
like,
responsible.
yeah, you're responsible. Like this is like you need to take charge and you need to do this and I already felt like okay, I take responsibility for my choices and stuff like that, but now I know that I like more of like you have to do the work. It's not more like just reading up on things and because I've always heard like knowledge is power, but knowledge is power until you use it, like until you use that knowledge. And I've always been reading these books and stuff like that, but I've never really actually like put it into effect, and like yeah, so I think that's one of my things are on that end. So
Wow, we got a lot done in 2020.
2020 is an amazing year. I know it's
It's been terrible for a lot of
yeah, it's
people and
been
for a
bad
lot of reasons.
people, and
But if you were able to see the signs and honestly go through the ugly, because figuring this stuff out about yourself is not, it doesn't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It feels
Oh, yeah.
painful. And there's a lot. I cried so much this year. It might be the year that I cried the most, to be honest. Like, I cried so much. Like, all those people passed, but as I mentioned, people also left. Like, Angelo also left, and he has been my rock. And then he took Rocio, who has become a dear friend to me, because obviously she's his wife. And then Santi, who's like my little baby brother. And there's been other people that have left. My brother went to Afghanistan. And just overall relationships that have had to, unfortunately, shift or end during this time. And that's been really hard for me too, because as I mentioned, I also don't like for people to feel like I hurt them, and I want to reach out to them and overly apologize, but I also know that's not the answer, right? Because they have to go through their own thing too. So it's been tough. It's been a really tough year, but I'm glad that I figured this stuff out about myself, because it's how I become a better person, the best me. So
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing too, that we're able to go through that. And I think the thing about 2020 is it was so hard and difficult for a lot of us that it shows how you need those hard challenges so you can get through them and make you stronger, you know.
yeah,
And I feel like on that end. So, but now we're in 2021.
2021. I like
And,
those numbers. 2021. Like, it just
2021.
feels good.
Yeah, 21 is
20,
one of my
21.
favorite numbers. So
21?
actually, yeah, 21 and 5 are my favorite numbers. So I'm really excited about that.
My birthday is 83183.
831,
So 8
831.
and 3s are my numbers.
So like if you were like on a basketball team, you'd rock what number?
I would rock 8.
8?
Mhm.
Okay.
I would
cool.
rock 8.
Nice.
I never thought of that. That's a good question. So yes, we should talk about New Year's resolutions.
Yes. So now that we're in 2021,
Actually, we did something fun. I thought it was super fun.
so you did it differently on a different day. And
Yes.
I did it somewhere else too.
So we just completed a goal setting workshop. I completed it actually just yesterday, and George did his a couple of days ago. Now, this
Yes.
goal setting workshop, I liked it because it applied how to get to your aims or your goals for the year in a specific way. And this is actually how I've done it in the past, but not so structured as this time. So I usually make goals for a quarter. So like these first 3 months, I want to focus on this. These next 3 months, I'm going to continue on a couple of these things, but I want this done, that sort of
Okay.
thing. So, and then that way I can be like, okay, I want to make it a priority to hang out with my nieces and nephews. I'm going to see them every Saturday. So, and then I could just put it in my calendar, all that stuff. So it just depends on my goal. So I just did it yesterday, and the way that we switched it up would be how to get your goals for your personal, like your inner life, right? Your relationships,
Yes.
which that's tough for me, as you know. That's probably my main block right now, and then work
Okay.
or your career or business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about our shadows that we've been working on, or that we figured out recently. So yeah, let's talk about this. I
Sweet.
want to know a little bit about your resolution. You don't have to say them all, but I want to know a little bit about yours.
So should we go through the thing? Like, what was your movie title, or what was your
Yes!
thing? Yeah.
Yes, I'm down.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm down too,
Okay,
so.
go ahead. Explain this.
Okay, so we're working. Should I tell him who it was and what the system was? So it was with Angelo. He has an awesome course program system. Right, I'm not sure exactly how to explain it, but
Yeah.
it's Alpha Hippie, and it's
It's mostly for males.
yeah, it's mostly for males. But he opened this workshop for New Year's resolutions and for us to conquer these, and we were able to join on a group call. But he had such an amazing process, and it was nice talking to somebody, because usually you say, I want to lose 20 pounds, or
Correct.
I want to make $30,000 a month, or I want to do
Correct.
this and I want to do that. But like the way he put it is attacking the root of the issue. What's the main trait, personality? And it was just a really cool way of putting it, and how to do it, and how to accomplish it, but not only like empower you to do that.
Correct.
And so the way it was, it's there was what's the title of, what was it? It's like
What?
title
Okay,
of the
so
year
you are the star of your movie, but
Yes.
you're also the writer of the script, you're the director, you're everything, right? And I actually have tried to live my life like this all the time. It gets a little wonky. I get stuck at being the star. I don't really get towards like where I'm actually writing my life out and directing my life. I just know I'm the star. Okay, so yeah, you're basically creating this movie of your life. And I tell people this all the time. Like, if this was a movie or if this was a book of your life, this specific part of your life would be like 2 minutes. Like, move on, blah, blah, blah. Like, I should take my own advice, right? So we had to come up with the title of our movie.
Yes, the title.
Our character's name, because we shouldn't still be Susie and George. We should be something else. And like our song,
Our theme song.
I actually had more trouble with the song.
Really? Mine was the name and the song. But no, I'm sorry. Mine was the name.
Okay.
The name was the hardest one for me. So that was my.
So
one of
what's
my
the
most
title
important.
of your movie?
So the title of my movie is Growth.
Oh, okay.
That's mine. So my 2021 year. That's the title of mine. My character's name. Well, I had a hard time with the character name because I just couldn't really think of anything, and the whole time I was thinking Rocky. Like Rocky.
Yeah.
Like,
That's easy.
And I didn't want to
Copy Rocky.
copy that, so I put driven. I put the driven, and he put it in terms where like it could be like a superhero, like Batman. He was saying Batman, Superman, Iron Man, stuff like that. And I just couldn't think of like one, but I just know that I want to be driven, like be driven and be, have a drive, and don't stop, So I think that's one of my main focuses this year, just to be disciplined, driven, and you're not always going to be motivated. So,
correct.
And then my theme song is called it's from the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh, okay.
So it's called La Ecstasy de Oro. So it's
Okay.
the ecstasy of gold.
Okay.
And it's just a real cool kind of like
That's cool,
song.
George.
Yeah, so like a classical song, and yeah, it's really cool. I've always loved that song. So.
Mine's different than that. That's funny.
What you got?
So my title is The Queen.
Okay.
Okay, because I feel like, like if I'm gonna make a movie, it's gonna be the Queen. Like, okay, what's the Queen's story?
Okay.
And so my character's name is La Jefa, which translates to the boss. And I feel like people already start to call me this. And honestly, when I do feel like down in the dumps or whatever, I'm like, you know what? Like, I haven't been treating myself like La Jefa, or I don't have people call me that anymore, or whatever. And it's true. Like, you have to step into your character.
Yeah.
And my song is The Flawless Remix by Beyonce with Nicki Minaj. That's my song. It's like, yep. And you can say what you want. I'm the shit. Like, okay, that's my song. Yes, it is.
See, this is why we did this podcast, so she could like teach me these things. 'Cause I never heard the song.
You've never You've heard this song.
I probably heard the song, but I just don't remember off the top of my head what it is.
Basically, it's all about her confidence. Obviously, they're two very confident women. But there's a line in the song where Beyonce says, and you can say what you want. I'm the shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, like, who cares about what people say? She does whatever she wants. She's super successful. If I'm going to model myself after anyone, I'm going to model myself after Beyonce.
Yeah,
so
she's a badass.
I'm always like, what would Beyonce do right now? Like, all right, she'd work out. Okay, let's go, So I thought that was a really fun exercise because, as I mentioned, I'm always okay with being the star, but I don't get any of the other details out. So
yeah, and I think that was really awesome because it led up to the storyboard and it led up to like what we really want as a resolution, So
all right, so give me one of your goals. Give me one of your resolutions, because again, they were partitioned off into 3 categories. So personal, like relationship, and career.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is like what we said is that it was not like goal oriented,
Right.
It was more focused on your personality, like your traits and stuff like that, and how you can do that. So, anyways, a personal relationship and career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my personal goal is like we said, like right away off the bat, I said I want to lose 30 pounds actually. I want to lose 30 to 35 pounds, be under 220. He's like, but that's not the real reason. The real reason is I just want to be proud of myself. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things. So So what are some actions that I can do to be more proud of myself? Is be a little bit more disciplined, and if I'm more disciplined, I can be more proud of myself.
Yeah.
So that was mine for my personal. What about your personal?
My personal was to be more disciplined.
Nice.
And I know that's my issue, to be disciplined. I can get my stuff done, no problem. I can do it, but I have this self-sabotaging thing for whatever reason. Like, I can get stuff done and be disciplined. I I really enjoy being chaotic.
Yeah.
I really like the chaos, and I like to tell people, like, I hate it. I hate rushing. But really, that's I enjoy it because, let's say I don't have a deadline and I need to get this stuff done. You know what? Then now it's too late, and I have to give myself a deadline, and it was so unnecessary. I could have gotten this stuff done before. So for me, it's the discipline, and just really, you know, before, I guess it didn't really matter, but now I've been a boss already for almost a year, and so I need to show the world and show myself, the queen, la jefa, right? Like, that I have that discipline.
Yeah. And I mean, and if you're a jefa, and if you're the queen, you have to have those kind of things.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
So, and it's-
Cleopatra just wasn't like, she was getting stuff done. You
Yeah.
know, she had her times to do stuff. So that was mine, and I feel that that's so important. And I really want to do a lot of shadow work on that. Like, why is that such a block for me?
Mhm.
Like, why do I like the chaos? Like,
Yeah.
maybe I feel I don't deserve peace. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and then the next category in that is relationships, right?
Mhm.
So relationship was a really good one too.
It was.
So, do you want to go first on that one, or do I
That
wanna
was
go?
tough for me.
Okay.
The relationships one was tough for me because I've gone through a lot of stuff this past year with relationships, and probably the year before. And so I have been doing a lot of internal work as far as how I am with those people in my life. What kind of stuff do I allow in my life and I accept from others? So the basic thing that I want to do with people, and for my relationships that are important to me, and so that people know, is that my goal is to listen, because I I feel that, how do I describe this? I am very empathetic, and I have really good instincts. Okay, my instincts are the best, honestly. Like, my gut tells me exactly what I need to know. But the problem with that is that when someone's talking to me or trying to get my opinion on something, or they just need me to listen, I already know what they're trying to say.
Okay.
I already know what should be done. And so I don't let them feel heard.
Okay.
I see people, and I make sure, and I do a very good job of the people in my life being seen, but I don't do a very good job of the people in my life feeling heard. And so that's what I'm going to focus on, because I think that is the biggest thing that I'm neglecting for my relationships.
And so it's funny because you say that, because I think it plays a little bit into what my relationship thing is too. But like, you're saying you're too empathetic?
Yes.
Or you're saying that
I'm too empathetic.
where it blocks you.
Correct.
doing-
Because, like, let's say George were to come to me, like, you know what, like, I just feel like I'm so big, I need to lose weight, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I already knew you were feeling this way. I already know how to fix and assess this problem, because I've been feeling it this whole time in my gut. I've been feeling his energy. I know that that's exactly what he needs, in my opinion, right? So instead of him just letting me listen, or instead of me just listening to him because that's what he wants me to do, I'm trying to solve his problem. Maybe he doesn't want me to solve his problem.
Right,
Maybe he
right,
just
right.
wants to tell me his problem. And a lot of times I'm left in conversations where I'm like, maybe they didn't need that from me.
Right.
Maybe they
okay.
did. Maybe they didn't need me to come and problem solve. Maybe they did. Maybe they just needed me to listen.
Right.
And like I mentioned, I really do a good job of everyone in my life. They feel seen. Hey, what's up? Blah blah blah. Pay them a compliment. You know, have a funny joke. Maybe give them a hard time. Everyone in my life feels seen, but I cannot honestly say that everyone in my life feels heard.
Wow. That's interesting. That's awesome. That's great. The reason why I say is because
Let's see how it goes.
yeah, the reason why so the nice thing too is that so you would target what you want to change, but then he would give you something tactical. So what was your tactical thing for that?
So the tactical thing for that is quieting my own. Micah has never swayed me wrong. Okay, so I have to just quiet down like my inner voice
Mm-hmm.
and say just like, you know what, right now you don't have to do anything.
Right.
Like
Okay.
I feel like I need to do action. Like I want the people around me to be taken care of. Like it's not my job to be that for them.
Right. Okay.
So I need to just quiet my mind and be present with them.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so funny because I think that that was mine too. My real is listen more.
Really?
Yeah, and be more empathetic, because it's happened a lot. It happens a lot here too. Like when you're reading the board. So mine is my thing was listening
This
and
is
being
true.
and being present, because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the creative in me, or or it's the business in me, or my mind is always running, and it's like I could be looking at you, and I'll be thinking completely of something else, like, and like I won't even be listening to what you're saying, or like, and so like.
Yes, I have noticed that.
She knows that.
He was really you were I think at your most in like December this way.
Yeah,
and I
so-
was like, what the heck is going on with George right now?
Yeah, so it was really crazy. So it was so I could look at you and I could just be completely thinking about something else. I could be thinking about business. I could be thinking about the trip to Mexico. I could be thinking about whatever, or the next project I want to work on. And it's been like not fights, but like I've been able to witness like where Stephanie hasn't been heard, or like where Susie calls me out, like, pay attention to the fucking workout. I just explained like
Yes.
what's going on. And I'm just like, and it was crazy because I look at her and I look at the board. And so anyway, so that's my thing to be. And I think another thing was being empathetic, because I feel not like you where you're over empathetic, but me, because, well, I had, the cancer scare, and because I had cancer, I cannot relate to anybody.
Wow,
if they bring
really?
if they bring something like hard to me in their
You're
life,
like,
I'm
I've
just
had
like-
cancer.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like, dude, that's not just, you're gonna fucking live.
Got it. Wow.
So I can't really put myself in their shoes, because I feel like I grabbed life and I took over my life, and I'm like, just fucking, take over your life and fucking stop bitching and stop complaining, So, and I'm never able to put myself in that situation. Like, that's probably their hardest thing in their life.
Right.
So and
I guess that does make sense. But you know what? I've had that problem in the past. Like maybe a few, like 8 or so years ago, people would come at me and be like, "Pfft, I'm a single mom of 2 kids. Like my mom was a single, like
Right.
we had no gas for, you know what I mean? Like I'm always like, this is not a problem. And I would actually vocally say that.
Right.
And then I realized like, well, after being called out by people for a couple times, I had to realize like, well, exactly as you said, this is their hardest thing right now. But yeah, I guess that's wow. I didn't
Yeah.
even realize that that's maybe something that you were doing.
Yeah, so that's something that I do all the time. Like when somebody brings me a problem, or something's like, this thing's hard, I'm just like, dude, like what the fuck? That's not hard. Like go, like just do it, Or anyway, so that's one thing. And the tactical thing for me to do on that one is, whenever I'm with Stephanie, I try to put my phone away. Like I'm just trying to put my phone away, and another tactical thing is, I will be doing this method where I would repeat what the person's saying in my head.
That honestly works for me.
Like if they're saying something, I'm repeating it in my own words in my head, like verbatim what they're saying, and so I can soak it up and absorb it. And like you said, we'll see how that goes.
All right, now that I know that goal, though, I'm gonna work on it.
It's gonna be interesting. Try to hear people. So, and then the last category, which was careers, and I can't wait to hear Susie's, because she has this whole thing going on here. So.
I really just have a block with one thing, honestly, and that would be how I'm marketing the gym.
Okay.
So marketing would be my major thing that I want to improve for the businesses, because like we have such a awesome place here. It's such a great gym. Like I am not exaggerating. We're the best. Like this place, the culture, the actual brick and mortar building, everything's the best here. The people, And so I don't do the best job of marketing that. So that's really my big block that I want to work on this year. Um, and so I'm already working on it. So as soon as like I wrote that down and I was like, yeah, like why? Like, well, it's because I have to also market myself.
Well,
Yeah.
it is you.
It is me.
Yeah.
I'm the person that's
Yeah.
making it this way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So even though I like to be the star, at the end of the day, I have an issue with like constantly being at the forefront and maybe feeling insecure about it. Like maybe people don't want to see me all the time. People don't want to hear from me all the time. And so yeah, we're working on that. And I already signed up for like a marketing class. So here we go.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that the thing too is that like, but everyone loves Susie. You know what I mean? And like,
That's so sweet.
but it is, but it's true though. And then like, I think like, there's a little bit of Susie like in all of us, and I think that's how you're getting the gym to be like how it is to be, you know. And I think your members reflect that. So the more you market yourself, the more we will get the people we want, the people we like, and the people that really do need that. So
all right, thanks,
so
George.
we would need that. So
thanks.
So yeah, so in my career goals, it's just getting better at sales. I think that's another one that I need to do. Sometimes I feel like I have like that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So like I don't belong here. So when I go talking to somebody, I don't feel like I'm the expert. I don't feel like I'm the man. I don't feel like.
Well,
so
let's not forget. And I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is not me not letting you be.
No,
heard.
it's okay. Yeah.
Like George and I are in businesses that we didn't have anyone to look up to that were like us, right? So especially such a niche business where he's a videographer, photographer for gyms or for fitness people. So it's so niche, and like I'd never heard of anyone doing that before. And for me, it's like I never saw a lot of female business owners that were Latina, but also I didn't see any of them owning a gym before. There's really not even a lot of women coaches. So I think that it's very easy for him and I to fall into that where we're like, ugh, maybe this is a mistake. Like, you know, so I definitely do understand that.
I've had that moment a lot of times. So, and but I think that's why it's kind of nice we could talk about this like together and like we could just be entrepreneurs sometimes. But yeah, so I think that's just mine. Mine is just sales and really just building that confidence, like, you know, just getting into work and doing that. So
I think at this point, though, I don't see anyone on social media, George, that is a better gym videographer than you.
Well, thank you. I
talk,
appreciate
real
that.
talk. I'm not just saying that. That's true. That's true.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so awesome. So those are our goals, and I think that was the other ones were just like basic things that we can do, like just to make those things happen. And I think that's
and so taking actions every day, setting aside time every day to work on those goals, and then playing your theme song and all that stuff. I'm excited about that.
I love the theme song. I love my theme song. I heard it the other day
too.
coming to the gym, and it really pumped me up.
Yeah,
and
I love mine too. So let us know what your New Year's resolutions are, or how you're planning to embrace on new things or changing stuff up. And if you have any questions on our method that we learned how to do, so
yeah,
I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, and then before we go, this is season 2, so let the people know. I know we did some shadow work on our past episodes. But we actually reviewed our past episodes, and we're trying to change it up, and we saw which ones you guys like the most, and we're trying to.
That's funny. That was a funny
do more
joke.
Things like that. So we're trying to get more of those things that you like more. So the more you tell us what you want, the more we're able to give you more episodes that you will love. We're gonna bring more people on this year.
Right.
We have a
more
whole
guests.
lineup.
I'm excited.
We're gonna be a little bit more disciplined on coming out with
there
more,
you go.
more
See,
episodes.
this was also one of those things.
Yeah, so we got a full schedule. We're switching it up. We got a full energy day on Saturday now. So we're not gonna be shooting on Sundays no more. We're kind of done with the week, and we don't want to. So we're gonna have some energy day on Saturday, and I know you said you probably have an idea. Do you want to give the people what we might be thinking?
No, I think that we're gonna keep it as a surprise so you guys can tune in. But we will be having a lot of guests on. We're gonna make it a priority because our episode with Lupe was so popular, and she, had a lot of knowledge to drop, and we definitely want to have her back on. But also a variety of other people on, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to hear other people's stories. We want to be able to talk to people about their experiences because we have unique experiences. You guys have unique experiences. And it's nice to hear, other people's perspectives. So I think that's the important part here about the I Know It Right podcast so we can show how right we are.
Awesome. So real quick, before we end, I want to leave with something tactical for the people that are that are listening to us. So we talked a lot about shadow work. Can you give the people a little bit of like, what's one tiny thing they can do to actually just be like, start that small shadow work thing?
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys like what I do. There are times when I'm triggered, right? Like something happens and I feel like my heart race or I want to tear up or I want to like yell at someone, like whatever that is. Take a second, like remove yourself from that situation. This has been the easiest way for me to find out my shadows. Write whatever you're feeling down or maybe just breathe and contemplate on it and then just be like, okay, why am I upset, sad, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this person hurt me, but why did they hurt me? Why did I allow for that? Like, that's the way to have it. Today, someone triggered me. I had to take a second and I figured out that, I'm I'm an open book. I let people in my life all the time. And that, while it's a good thing, I think it's a good thing that I'm open. I love being like that. It also allows people to have too many opinions on my life. And while I still want to be that way, I know that I can't be that way with too many people. And so the universe, this is the second time in like a week that it's showing me this. And it's not their fault because I've allowed for them to be very involved in my life and know, too many details maybe. And maybe there are some things that I really need to just place a little bit more dear to me and kind of hold them in more before I reveal too much to too many people. But that's what I learned recently is that I allow too many people to be fully in. And so they find an investment in knowing this information. And then they're able to do whatever they want with it. And then I feel hurt because of it. And it's not their fault. They didn't really do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong at all. But I'm upset. But I'm upset at myself.
Yeah. So there you have it from the expert herself. Write it down, right?
So many shadows. Yes.
Write it down and ask yourself why. So once again, guys, season 2, episode 1. We're really, really, really excited about this year. And
a year later.
Yeah, a year later. And
I feel like we've changed so much in the year.
We have changed it a lot. And please, guys, remember this is our New Year's resolution. A lot of you know us. A lot of you follow us. Please keep us accountable for what's going on. And that's what we're using this episode so we know next year when we come back, we're like, where are we now? So thank you, guys. Love you. We're going to be launching this super fast. So hopefully by Wednesday or Thursday, guys. So
if he's disciplined.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Peace.
Bye.